Sean Payton took over Denver. They were in cap hell. Russell Wilson is still their number one cap hit today. They were 5-12. Worst scoring offense in the league. Lousy offensive line. Very little skill. Today, start of year 3. Great O-line, 2 capable running backs, dudes everywhere in the perimeter. How many guys do they have that can run and catch? A lot. They'll also lead the NFL in sacks for the 2nd straight year. I love Bo Nix, but he got lucky getting Sean Payton. From play calling to play design, he's one of the few coaches in the NFL that is very good with personnel. He and Harbaugh know personnel. A lot of good coaches, Kyle Shanahan, Andy Reid, I don't think are great with it or don't care about it. Peyton's great at it. So 9 different guys caught a ball. Everybody's almost got the same body type. Lean, long, with good hands. They run good routes. It is a Super Bowl roster. I mean, you watch the Jets with their new coach. What do they do well? What are they? Do they do anything well? Broncos do a lot well. If you lead the NFL in sacks, you have perhaps the great play caller and designer next to Andy Reid, and you've got all sorts of wide receiver talent on the outside. Now, I love Bo Nix. Watch how hard he throws the ball. His velocity, unlike a lot of these young quarterbacks, he throws the ball down the field. And because of that, Sean Payton puts a ton on his plate. He throws it down the field. A lot of these young quarterbacks, dink, dunk, no. Look at how often when he throws it out into the flat, a running back or a receiver or a tight end doesn't have to wait for it. And again, he makes hard throws. He'll throw them into congested areas. He'll go right after people. He's intense. He kind of reminds me of the opposite of Drew Lock. It is all business all the time. Hard throws, not messing around. He'll bark at Sean Payton, and Sean Payton will bark back. And Sean is a great coach, but he's not easy to play for as a quarterback. Go back to Drew Brees. Drew Brees, 2nd year in the turnaround in New Orleans, 2nd year, had his worst passer rating of his career. That's why Sean's record in September is just okay, 30-30, because he puts so much on the plate of his quarterbacks. So it is hard to turn around Denver. People do not understand. Russell Wilson is still their number one cap hit. It was a mess. They gave up draft capital. They gave up all those picks. They had a terrible offensive line. They had like Cortland Sutton and a lot of nonsense. You look at them now, it is velocity on both sides. That's what Harbaugh did. 32nd defense to number 1. Same guys a year later. So coaching works at mile high and the sea level. It's about the process. It's about intensity. Coaches do it differently, but the Broncos, my AFC West champion pick, back to form, cut down on the mistakes, and buried a hapless Bengals team. Here's Sean.
Obviously, early in the season, all 31 other teams are really working to figure out who they are. We're no different, but it certainly was a step in the right direction. There were a lot of things that we were able to do tonight that hopefully can carry over. Now, we changed quickly to a team that just finished winning the Super Bowl, so we'll enjoy this one and then get back to work tomorrow.
Yeah, I've been waiting for today since the moment yesterday happened. I am so fired up for this team, and I am so fired up for Bo Nix and the Denver Broncos, and I already know the nonsense takes we're about to get. Oh, it's the Bengals, and I'm going to shred that apart in just a moment. But before I get started, please, Denver Broncos fans, do not forget to subscribe and watch the full length of this video, as it is single-handedly the best possible way to support the growth of this channel. I am trying to create something that is firmly rooted in the sports talk world community, and we're doing an amazing job so far right now. I mean, the subscribers right now are going through the roof. The views are going through the roof. I am trying to create an avalanche. I am trying to create something special. It is we, not me, so let's get after it. But now let's really get after it, because the Denver Broncos and Bo Nix, this game fired me up. And like I said, I already know it's the Bengals. Guys, it's not always just about winning and losing. Obviously, this was a dominant performance from the Denver Broncos. It was a dominant performance, right? 28-3. It wasn't even I mean, the Bengals, since the opening drive was the only drive that they even made it into Denver's territory, right? The Bengals had 159 total yards, right? We know all that. But the huge takeaway is not their ability to be able to beat the Cincinnati Bengals. Because yes, the Denver Broncos and this team they're levels above a franchise like the Cincinnati Bengals. And so under normal circumstances, you'd say, yeah, that's great. You beat a bad team. Move on now. But there's so much doubt and disrespect and absolute utter nonsense spoken about this team, about Bo Nix, about Sean Peyton, saying Sean Payton's not really that good of a coach, that he's not a good play caller, that Bo Nix should be benched. Like, just absolute utter nonsense. And that's why I was so excited, because when I realized there was going to be a doubleheader game, I'm like, please beat Troy Aikman, please beat Troy Aikman, please beat Troy Aikman. And luckily it was Troy Aikman. And if you hear the things that he said, if you watched him pregame, he's like, man, everyone's so quick to just crown or bury these quarterbacks. Like, Bo Nix is in his second year, and he's done a great job. Like, he was just pretty much like laughing, like, people are just really saying some pretty wild and crazy things right now. And Troy had nothing but heaps of praise about Bo throughout the entire game. Just nothing but heaps of praise. And he also said that Sean Payton is one of the greatest minds, the greatest offensive minds that the NFL has ever seen. I think he knows a thing or two about football. So just this weird, distorted hatred towards the Denver Broncos. And again, I think the way how I diagnose this is because the Kansas City Chiefs have been so popular over the last, 6, 7, 8 years or whatever, that like by virtue people are just going to just not like the Denver Broncos. And it's like, man, just grow up. Just grow up already. Grow up with this forced nonsense. I mean, we all saw the graphic of Bo. Through his first 20 starts, he's second in completion percentage, second in passing touchdowns, and second in passer rating for Denver Broncos history. Second to only Peyton Manning, who got to the Denver Broncos like in his prime as a fully accomplished, quarterback, right? Like, so I mean, it's come on. It's just the doubt and the disrespect of Bo. The throws that he was making, like that's the point that I want to drive home. It doesn't matter who you're playing. The throws, the level of difficulty, the accuracy. His arm, he's got an awesome arm. He's got, again, I'm not saying this to be like, oh, watch all the games, I'm so cool. But like it really, last year, when I first really started to truly watch like all these games and really dive in as much as I possibly could. Last season was really the first season that was really like this all-in thing. It was like I watched all the games because I wanted to know what was happening. I wanted to know what was going on, right? If I'm going to talk about this team or that team, I wanted to know like how did it unfold, and that's why I take all my notes. But this year, what's happening is, for me, has been a completely different experience now because, I have an idea of what's going on in all these games and how they're all unfolding, and that's great, and I take notes. But now what I'm really able to see is just the different degree of skill all around the league. Quarterbacks that I like, quarterbacks that I think are great, quarterbacks that I think that make great decisions, have won playoff games, etc. But then when I reduce it to individual skill sets, which is why I really appreciate the way how Dan Orlovsky decided to say, hey, I'm rating and ranking all these quarterbacks based on like 6 or 7 completely different skill sets, off script, arm strength, accuracy, like all different things, not just this quarterback's great, this quarterback's okay, this quarterback's tier 1, just individual skill sets. And you watch someone like a Bo Nix and you're like, that dude's got a cannon. That guy's arm is great. His decision making, his ability to run the offense, and this is why my favorite play, and it was such a little thing. The way how when he abandoned that play fake and then just let it rip to Franklin. Troy Aikman pointed it out too. It's such high-level football. It is the exact same thing that Tom Brady would do. I listened to this one interview. I forget. It was some tight end. It wasn't like a big tight end. I think it was a tight end, but it was obviously not Gronk. And he was talking about like, like when I went and played with Brady, he's like, it actually took some adjustment. He goes, because I played with a lot of quarterbacks who were like, I'm expecting you to be at this spot right here. That's where I'm throwing the ball. And he goes in with Brady. It wasn't like that at all. Like Brady, at one point I ran the exact route and Brady threw the ball away from me. And afterwards he was like, what are you doing? Like, you're open right here. When you're open, just get ready. And I'm getting it to you. I'm getting you the ball. And he was just like, it was so different than what I had normally done with other quarterbacks, because a lot of other quarterbacks are just so specific. And he's like, no, just, we're in zone, just get open, turn around, look at me, and the ball's going right there. Just get there. And he's like, and it made it so easy and it was so direct. And it's just like, that's what I see out of Bo Nix right now. It's just like, you're open, be ready, the ball is coming to you. I don't care when, I don't care what the play is, like, just be there, get there, and the ball is getting to you. And it's awesome. I mean, it's awesome to see, and that's why it's like the Mac Jones comparisons, like trying to put him, with Nick Wright constantly putting him at the bottom of his mountain, and like all that nonsense. Like, you can see the high level play. It's why I kept pushing back all the time with all the stats of like, oh, Bo Nix has been really bad, and like, oh, see, I told you this is like Mac Jones, and it's just like I don't care what even the stats show. And even when I look at the stats are actually great. I mean, they're actually legitimately, genuinely great. And even when he plays a team that's obviously not great, he would have had over 400 yards. I mean, he would have easily, there was like 4 or 5 drops yesterday that would have put him over 400 yards and another touchdown on top of that. I mean, I don't care who you're playing. I really don't. It doesn't matter at that point. If you want to say, listen, what's the takeaway from the Denver Broncos team as a whole? That's totally fair. That's totally fair. Individually, it's not like Bo Nix was throwing to wide open receivers. That was my problem when Caleb Williams had a great game against the Dallas Cowboys. He was just launching the ball downfield to just wide open receivers all day, all day throughout the entire game. And I'm like, I expect someone like Caleb Williams to be able to do that. If you can't do that, well, then you can't be a quarterback in the NFL. So I was just like, it was a good game. It was a productive game. But that doesn't impress me. The decision making that Bo Nix was having, his throws on the move, the level of accuracy, and a lot of these tight window throws. I mean, they were just lasers. They were on a rope. So. And again, it wasn't just like, well, he's wide open and he's just dropping back and just letting everybody, like, that wasn't the case here. That wasn't the case. So that's why a game like this I find really, really incredibly impressive. And that's why it's like, I have my notes of all the little things that they did throughout the game, and it doesn't really matter because it was against the Cincinnati Bengals. Like, it was awesome to watch the pass rush get to Jake Browning, and you almost start to feel bad for Jake. The one play, it felt like back when I was a kid, when I used to just, on random plays in Madden, I used to just do like punt block or whatever, or field goal block, and then it would just like on like second down or something, and it would just like completely overwhelm whoever was the quarterback. And like, that's how the one play felt on the one, I think it was 3rd and long, and it was when they were able to like literally jump in the air and just like bat down the ball like it was a punt block. That's what it was so reminiscent of. And you're just like, man, they just can't do anything here. But it just, again, the disrespect. I showed you the post-game clip that I made last night where Nick was like, in no world should the Broncos be favored by 7.5 against anyone with a pulse. The Bengals are going to be able to move the ball on the Denver Broncos. The Bengals can win outright. It's like, that's the level of disrespect that I'm talking about, because that's not actually rooted in any sense of reality. And it's why you can't just always just look at the stats. And that's why I loved Joe Buck and Troy Aikman were talking about, the misconnects, the misconnections on the deep ball. And Sean Payton's like, it's 50th on my list. Like, it's just so low because, 1, I know he can make those throws. And 2, it's just like that. It's just, out of all the things that you need a quarterback to do, being able to, have 100% completion percentage on 50-yard just launches down the field, it's just not it. I watched Justin Herbert, Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Lamar. I watch all these quarterbacks miss those throws. Best case scenario, you're like 50% completion percentage on those throws. Like, best case scenario. So it's just at the bottom of the list. And I just love that, the throws that Bo were making, that were these deep ball throws that were pushed down the field. They weren't just these, all right, these are go balls, I'm just letting it rip. I'm just, we're just trying to get this connection going. It wasn't like that. It was just when the play was there, I'm letting it rip. I'm taking it. And I just thought it was a great game. I just thought it was a great game. And yeah, man, it was really special. And the last thing I'll say is we got to just stop. We got to stop with the avalanche of doubt and downright denial of what we see in front of us. People are so quick to reach conclusions. Bo Nix plays great last season, but they're like, no, he's not good. He's not good. And it's like, well, statistically, he was great. And then it's just like, no, he's not good. And it's like, but also when you watch the games, he was great. No, he's not good. And then we have this season, like they reject statistics. And then this season, it's like, oh, he's actually, he's been playing a lot better than the statistics kind of show. It was kind of a rough week 1 game, et cetera, et cetera. But when you're actually looking at it like this and et cetera and blah, 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 they're like, no, his statistics, look how bad he is. And it's like, but you denied the statistics in year 1 as a rookie. Like, no, he's just not good. And it's just like, you want to use the statistics for the first 3 games of a quarterback's second season, but reject his entire season as a rookie. And then the follow-up to that is, well, he only played good against bad teams. And it's like, no, he didn't. I'll show you the statistic. I put all the statistics together of against the Kansas City Chiefs, just the first week game, not the first time they played, not the last time. I showed you against the Chargers, against the Bengals, against all the top quarterbacks in the NFL. That's what I did. I picked every top quarterback that they faced and put them all together. And it's like, he played really well. He had an awesome touchdown interception ratio. He was like top 10 in passing yards and passer. Like, I don't understand. Like, what do you want this guy to do as a rookie? You're expecting him to just put the Broncos team on his back and just start ripping off wins against Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, just like all day, every day. Like as a rookie, like what bizarre scenario are you trying to invent? It's just delusional. And that's in the essence of why Troy Aikman was laughing in the beginning, leading into the game itself, when he was just like, he doesn't talk like this, but in essence, he was pretty much just like, guys, can you all just calm down right now? Like, what crazy conclusions are you trying to jump on right now with Bo Nix, where you're trying to bury this man or just reject reality? Like, I'm just going to say, grow up. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about Bo Nix and the Denver Broncos? Sean Payton turning this team around? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment, so whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions, let's get in some fights, but ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here, and absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all generally feel connected to, something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help with the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.